Back in the day, Tony Hawk games were rad as heck. It introduced so many gamers into the skating lifestyle, and it taught me everything I know about skateboarding, which is a very limited amount of knowledge, but I digress. Although I'm not a cool guy skater myself, I cannot help but appreciate Tony Hawk games. It's one of my favorite franchises thanks to the funky, fresh gameplay. Tony Hawk games stood strong for about a decade, but unfortunately fizzled out by 2007. The entire skating genre seemed to be extinct. Tony Hawk tried to make a comeback with Pro Skater 5 in 2015, but received abysmal reviews. The entire franchise was pronounced dead after that release. When I heard that a remaster was announced for 2020, I had mixed feelings. I wanted something that could truly take me back to the good old days. Enter Vicarious Visions. This was the team leading the remaster of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Vicarious Visions were the masterminds behind the Crash Bandicoot remake, which was universally praised. The way I like to judge a remaster is making sure the franchise stays true to its roots, while modernizing the gameplay enough to allow newcomers to feel a fresh experience that is hip with the times. Is the Tony Hawk remake a true remaster that feels fresh AF, or is it another forgotten dud, only verifying the very extinction of the skateboarding genre? Let's check it out! The remake controls very reminiscent to Pro Skater 4, which happens to be my favorite in the series. The controls are incredibly tight while simultaneously containing fast gameplay. The speed allows me to get a great amount of air, but there's enough weight on the way down to make it feel as if I don't have all the time in the world to pull off a trick. The original games always felt a little too floaty to me. The remake provides the perfect balance of airtime. The game is not as unrealistic as the later games like Underground 2 or American Wasteland. In those games you're a legitimate superhero, or terrorist, whatever you want to call it. A big part of those games is just going around cities, destroying landmarks, breaking glass. The objective is to literally just fuck shit up. The physics of those games were just a bit too on the wild side. The remake's controls feel just a bit more conservative, but it still has enough of an arcade type feel to be considered a Tony Hawk game. Just so I'm clear here, this is in no shape or form a skateboarding simulator. If you want an authentic skating experience, go for Skate. Tony Hawk is all about collecting stuff and doing crazy combos. The main reason I always found Tony Hawk to be one of my favorite series was due to the exploration. At its core, this game is simply just a physics-based 3D platformer where you have to gain momentum to get to certain sections of the map. I know this may sound like a stretch to some, but if you look at this game from a macro level, it's not too far off from an N64 collectathon game like Banjo-Kazooie or DK64. Each level gives you a checklist of things to do and only 2 minutes to go out and accomplish your goals. The goals will range from getting a high score, achieving a high combo, and collecting various items that fit the theme of the level. The high scores were way too easy to accomplish though. I think a big reason why the high scores are easy was due to the modernization of the movesets. You see, back in the day there were no reverts or wall plants to help you extend a combo. Thanks to this addition, I was able to extend my combos to the max and really got the most out of these courses. It's interesting to see how the layout of these levels were left unchanged, and yet the combos you can gain feel almost as if the developers created these levels with your extended moveset in mind. They obviously didn't think of this at the time, but the fact that Vicarious Visions didn't have to tweak these levels and they still fit well proves how timeless these games truly are. My issue with this was that the scores I had to achieve were attainable within the first 20 seconds of every level. It was never a challenge for me whatsoever, and the developers really could have increased the score requirements to up the ante. Now I pride myself as a Tony Hawk veteran who can hold his own. It would be ludicrous to think that I am new to this. With that being said, I am by no means a pro. There are some people online who are insane. They can hold combos forever and score millions of points. I'm not asking for an impossible challenge, but just a little more resistance for a guy of my stature. Online play is back, and it's a great time for those of you who can hold your own, but huge warning, there are a lot of pros up in this. You best be ready to put on your big boy pants for this one. I only recommend it if you're better than me. Like, much better than me. Modes like Graffiti and Trick Attack are back, and they can add for some fun replayability for some. Bored of playing? Well, you can create your own park. I didn't really get into this because I'm not a creative guy, but I had fun trying out some of the other creative courses like this roller coaster one. A big question I have been getting from my fellow Tony Hawk fans. Is this game worth it, and where does it rank in the series? As far as the gameplay and physics are concerned, this is by far the best game in the series. If you're a pro Tony Hawk player, you've downloaded Thug Pro on your computer, you know every gap on every course, you're an insane mathematician who can understand the risk versus reward of all your combos, and you know which special tricks to nail at whatever specific time, this is a must-own, and you'll probably play this game for years. If you're a main story kind of guy and you want a beefy single player experience, I don't know if this game can be considered one of the best. I had so much fun playing this game, but my issue is how fast the main campaign was. There's plenty more to do for completionists, but as far as simply beating all the goals in each level is concerned, it took me less than 6 hours. If you're more of a casual player like myself, you just want to complete the goals and call it a day, you may be a bit disappointed due to the length of the game. The lack of quantity does not mean there's a lack of quality though. I recommend this game to any true Tony Hawk fan, and quite frankly, I'm happy to fund such a franchise in the hopes that they make a brand new experience. Remakes are all good and fun where I come from. It's clear Vicarious Visions worked hard on this engine, and it's something that can be incorporated into a bigger, beefier game. Vicarious Visions. Give us the true sequel fans want. It's clear they have the tools to make it happen, but the market has to be there. I will continue to support these games, not only due to nostalgic reasons, but due to the fresh experience I felt ripping through this campaign, finding collectibles, gaining stat points to allow Rodney Mullen to get more air on the halfpipe, and hunting down those sneaky secret tapes. Long live the Tony Hawk franchise. It's not dead yet.